Hey, thank you so much for tuning in to a new episode of Cut to Movies with Vivek and Viru. Just before we dive in, we'd like to give you a disclaimer that this episode is filled with spoilers. So please do watch the film first.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Cut 2 with Vivek and Viru. And after last time's review of Heroic Losers, we are still in Argentina with a very interesting film. It's actually the film that is the most seen film in Argentina. It's the most popular one. Vivek, tell us about it.
Yes, writer-director Damien Cifron presents this delicious Argentinian revenge anthology, which is wickedly hilarious and delightfully deranged in equal measure. We're talking about Wild Tales. There are 6 tales weaved into a subversive satire that might just give you strange ideas to get even with your nemesis. That was just a joke, by the way. Please don't take it seriously. But do watch this edge of the seat film to know what we are talking about.
I was like really surprised. Actually, तूने बोला था मुझे कि ये film you had seen, and when I started watching it, उसके बाद like the fact that it was like an anthology, which is like series of short films. Obviously, that format is interesting because you get to see nice stories one after the other. But it is only interesting if all the stories are interesting. And it starts off with a bang. तो वो वहाँ से ही मेरे को एकदम interest चालू हो गया है. And everything was like so wicked. Like everything was about some vengeance or violence or human beings having animalistic features. तो वैसा type का था. तो it was quite fun, right? तेरे को कैसा लगा? मतलब तू you had seen it earlier, तूने फिर से देखा क्या?
Yeah, I watched it again just for this episode, and of course, I mean, it is such a wild ride, this entire film. And like you said, when I watched the film, I had no idea. It was like a random watch on Netflix, I remember. And that first film, when things are happening slow and steady, and you're kind of getting warmed up watching the film, and then the plot reveals itself. That first tale, and after that, it's such a wild ride. I mean, it's such a crazy film that I don't think anyone should miss it.
और सब अलग-अलग type का situations लिया है, and then people act in a way that you sometimes you feel that you should be acting in that way, but you stop yourself from doing it. Correct. But here they go ahead with doing what they want. Right? तो वो था, and I think director का भी वही ये था. I think he wrote a couple of them from his personal experiences. है ना, वो हाईवे वाला जो है, एक हाईवे वाला. It was actually हाईवे वाला was the one that I enjoyed the most. पता नहीं क्यों. I mean that was the one I enjoyed the most. और वो चालू हुआ तो I kind of remembered the couple of films that we had recently seen. एक तो हम लोग ने Tailgate जो हम लोग ने review किया था, and then there was the other one of which I had seen Russell Crowe वाला, right?
Correct.
So I mean इसमें then I started off like that कि ऐसा ही type का है कि नीचे हॉर्न बजा रहा है और आदमी कोई बीच में रुका हुआ है ना, वैसे ही स्टाइल टेलगेट स्टाइल स्टार्ट होता है. But then it becomes like a crazy tit for tat kind of a fight. इसने किया, फिर मैंने कुछ किया, फिर उसने और ऊपर like किया. It was super fun.
Yeah, for me, I think my favorite one was the first one. And actually, it is a toss-up between that one and the last one, that wedding one.
Oh, damn. That last one is like totally insane. That is the most insane one. I mean, if we had to like give insanity rating, तो last वाला तो मतलब पागलपंती का limit है.
It goes to it. I think the moment you're thinking about, because I was also right now when I watched the second time, I was also reading where a lot of people were saying that, hey, it is so predictable. And you brought up that one point where you said that a lot of times we also in our daily lives think that I want to do this as an act of revenge, but you don't act upon that emotion as a human being. But in this film, he takes it to that level, which is what you're thinking that, yeah, I would have done that in this situation, this exact thing what the character did. And when you see that, it kind of gives you that dopamine rush, like the first one where whatever happens, I think people should watch it. But in the first one also, when it reveals itself what's going to happen, haven't we actually thought about it when we were bullied, in school,
Right.
or if someone we don't like, we want to kind of end their life in the most
But this was the
profound way
most
possible.
over the top revenge that you have seen. Like it's actually
Yeah.
literally in a plane.
Yeah, it was
And
crazy.
it was crazy. Like, whoa, we have seen stuff like this where I don't know if this is like a spoiler, but we've seen people being invited to a location, right? To
Correct. Yeah.
a house or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but this is like something else, and it is short and it is like delicious, like you said. और last वाला ना तो basically वो तो actually मैं cringe हो रहा था, मतलब धीरे धीरे एक एक जो चीज हो रही थी ना, it was like
Yeah.
ये लड़की तो मतलब अलग लेवल पे लेके जा रही है बॉस, ये तो छोड़ेगी नहीं, किसी को नहीं छोड़ेगी. और धीरे धीरे क्या हो रहा था, मतलब मैडनेस, अटर मैडनेस.
Yeah. Like you said, we are still in Argentina, and last time we spoke about Ricardo Darin. He's also
Right.
featured in this film. In that film, what did you think about that story?
So I somehow I felt that it was okay. एक तो मतलब the problem, like I'm sure a lot of Argentinians would have kind of connected with it, because हो सकता है उधर corruption ऐसा है, and जो towing vans है वो गाड़ियाँ ऐसे उठा के ले जाती है, and the government keeps taking money from people, fleecing money. So I think that was it. But इसमें क्या है ना, Darin kind of, because of Darin, I think they have kind of underplayed it, and the character is a little more grounded and doesn't act on the impulse in a wild manner. But बाकी सब ज्यादा wild लग रहे थे. मुझे इसमें ये थोड़ा सा tame लगा. Like and it was almost like a Black Mirror episode. It was a little more realistic, I would say, realistic than the other ones. This could actually happen.
Yeah. Like I was also thinking the same thing, but in this one I was also kind of getting a thought that maybe a big star would have some reservations doing some really wild things, but it would work for the director to kind of get such a huge name in the cast to get the film a little more eyeballs. Maybe that's the case, but yeah, this film was much tamer than the others for sure.
Correct. And वो उसके next hit and run वाला भी, it was kind of a commentary on the corruption in the system itself, and the fact that the rich can take advantage of the poor, and the system will help you do that. So I mean, Bombita और वो जो demolition वाला जो Darin का था, and the other one, the hit and run one, both of them were more like a commentary on the system and how it affects people. Yeah,
they also felt like a little bit of a breather, no? Like when the film begins, it begins like, and then, and then by the time these two films come, you're like, okay, taking a deep breath. The scenes are panned out a little longer. It takes a little its own time, and then again at the end, bang, with that wedding story.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of a roller coaster. वो restaurant वाला was, it starts off थोड़ा सा slowly. You think that something wrong is going to happen, and in the end there is a twist, and you were like, no, ये नहीं करना चाहिए था. So it was okay. I mean, again, that was also an okay one. I think the actress there, उसमें भी जो chef बनी है जो the chubby one, वो उसको वो हम लोग, I think उसमें भी थी. Darin and this lady were in the other film, right?
Yeah. She was also there in one of the scenes, I remember. Correct.
Film बहुत चला, मतलब ये उसने, I think the director made it, wrote it while he was writing other films. तो छोटा film stories लिखने लगा as he was experiencing stuff. Like he was on a drive and highway पे उसका एक लड़ाई हो गया कोई आदमी से, तो then he wrote this, and then he went to a restaurant with his wife, and वहाँ पे the waitress and the owner kind of told them to vacate क्योंकि उनको बंद करना था, तो उनके साथ झगड़ा हो गया, and after that he wrote this, the restaurant one. So I mean, he took inspiration from whatever he was experiencing and wrote those, and finally, like, it got the budget that it needed, plus it got the backing, and it became like the most क्या बोलते हैं, seen Argentinian film of all time, and kind of nominated for the Oscar, for a hit at the Cannes, and it was also won a BAFTA for the best film which is not in a English language. So I mean, yeah, very, very successful film, man.
I love the whole anthology aspect as a genre.
Correct.
In films, no? Like you get to see so much more about the same subject in one film as opposed to kind of looking at another. I mean, I like the other ones as well, but like as anthologies also, I really love the format. Like which are the other ones that you can remember as anthologies? Like I can think of अपना बॉम्बे टॉकीज निकला था.
बॉम्बे टॉकीज, एंड इनफैक्ट अभी एक्चुअली नेटफ्लिक्स एंड ये इस पे बहुत कुछ निकला था, लाइक रे निकला है, some stories, the stories I've seen, none of them, like अजीब दास्तान, ऐसे कुछ निकलता रहता है जिसमें करण जौहर एक फिल्म बना रहा है, कोई और एक फिल्म बना रहा है, मेघना गुलजार एक फिल्म बना रही है. I've seen none of them. बट मेरे को पुराना एकदम थिएटर में देखा हुआ हिंदी फिल्म्स याद है. एक 10 कहानियां करके फिल्म थी.
हाँ ऑफ कोर्स आई रिमेंबर 10 कहानियां.
संजय दत्त वगैरह कितने लोग थे ऐसे, सुनील शेट्टी, सब कोई, एंड एक मस्त वाला था, वो था डरना मना है. उसमें बहुत मजा आया. उसमें बहुत मजा आया था. डरना मना है में बहुत मजा आया था.
डरना मना है, डरना जरूरी. अरे डरना मना है was the one. Darna Mana Hai was the one with Saif Ali Khan and Boman Irani, no smoking, right?
Yes, मतलब वो, I mean, these are the ones that I remember, that short stories जो हम लोग ने ऐसा फिल्म फॉर्मेट में देखा है बॉलीवुड में. कि I mean, मैंने ऑनलाइन अभी ऐसा कोई ऐसा देखा नहीं है. और इंग्लिश में not really. Have you seen any? Because there was one film which was 4 rooms या कुछ टैरेंटिनो का था, but I don't remember. उसमें basically there are these short stories.
Yeah, that was not an anthology. That was like जैसे Inaritu makes like Amoros Peros, where 3-4 stories come together at one junction. वैसा था उसका.
Okay, it was not like an anthology.
In English, I just remember Black Mirror, but again, it was not a movie.
Black Mirror
but
is like, lekin again, that's a long format web series.
Correct.
Well, I'm hoping like people write more of these and release. I would love Vishal Bhardwaj to probably write some short stories, even if it's like बच्चों का या horror ऐसे करके. If he makes, it'll be nice, because I don't know, he's gone a little off the good path, and this would be a nice way to come back, I think. और वो कर भी सकता है. और let's also find out if there are more anthologies worth visiting, and then we should watch them.
Yup, let's do that.
To watch this film, and let us know if you watched any anthologies. इतने सारे release हुए थे. If any of them are interesting enough for us to watch, then we will definitely do that.
And let us know once you watch Wild Tales, which of the films within Wild Tales is your favorite.
Yeah, mine. So like you said, yours was airplane one, and close. Second is the marriage one, the wedding one, and for me it was the highway one, and the close second, like almost close second is the airplane one. All right, guys, do keep listening to us, and do follow us on our various channels on Instagram, and definitely follow us on Spotify, right, Abhi Vivek?
Please follow us on Spotify, and we've also waiting for recos to kind of come in. What is the next films that you guys want us to watch? We are open to suggestions, so please send them in.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.